Hi, welcome back if you've been here before, and if not, welcome. My name is Claudia, my middle name is Dora, and I just started this channel, Floradora. Today I'll be talking about my top 10 favorite houseplants I own, and it's not necessarily my top 10 favorite species, but more top 10 that I personally own. Yeah, so I'd like to just get right into it. I've had kind of a busy morning because, so I thought my Monstera deliciosa, this guy back here, was free of thrips. I found thrips on it. Its leaves were getting yellow and then browning and just weren't happy, and I looked closer and there were all these little nasty little thrips, bugs on it. So I wiped it all down with neem oil. Thought we were all good. Just found some more on the brand new leaves today, and so that was really heartbreaking. And honestly, in my frustration, I literally chopped those leaves off because I just didn't want them getting anywhere else. And then I wiped down the plant again with neem oil, and I wiped down some of my other big plants with neem oil just in case. Anyway. So my 10th favorite houseplant that I own is going to be just my weird little lemon plant. So I actually ate a lemon, took the seeds out, wrapped them in a little bit of paper towel, sprayed them down to get them wet, put them in a little plastic bag, and tucked them into one of my drawers in my kitchen and let them germinate. And once I saw a little sprout popping out, I just stuck it in some soil, and there's, as you can see, I mean, this is just like a chili garlic sauce little jar that I like. I save all the glass jars that I have to put plants and other fun things in. And yeah, it seems to be doing fine. I guess when it gets a little bit bigger, does this work? I'll move it. It kind of worked. I'll move it to a bigger container, but for right now, I think it's just really cute in this little chili garlic sauce bottle. Anyway, I like this guy. It's kind of funny. Okay, and then my 9th favorite houseplant is my Philodendron Salome. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's also known as a hope plant. And so I actually have it just right here. That's why it's so chaotic in the background, because I stacked them. Oh, it's so heavy. Okay. So this big guy, oh my gosh, you can't even see his whole thing, but this big guy is a big philodendron, also known as the hope plant. Some of its leaves are a little messed up, but the reason why this is one of my favorite houseplants is because of its backstory. So I actually got this guy for about $9 at Walmart in the plant section, and it was like disease and not looking good at all, and I recognized it as a type of philodendron, and at the time I was getting a little bit more into philodendron, and so I bought it and kind of quarantined it outside on my patio. It was summertime when I had gotten it, and I sprayed it all down, wiped it down with a little bit of neem oil and water solution, and then cut back all the super dead diseased leaves, and it's pushed out so much new growth since, and now you can't really get the full glory of it, but now I think it's like pretty big and a beautiful plant. So yeah, I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. Okay, my 8th favorite houseplant that I have right now is my little philodendron jungle boogie, or some people call it a tiger tooth philodendron because its mature leaves get these waves on the side that look like serrated like a tiger's tooth. And this plant, even though it's pretty small right now, is one of my favorite plants of all time because I'm super excited for the potential of this plant. So Jungle Boogie philodendron get really, really large. My boyfriend has this crazy, crazy big one. Maybe I'll put in a picture if I can figure out how to do that. Still learning. And the leaves just get so big and dark and thick and like voluminous, like they're so textured. They look like if you've ever had dinosaur kale. I don't know if that's what it's called. Anyway, but it's super like rippled and textured and you just want to bite into it. And I love good leaf. I'm a foliage girl. And so the thicker, greener, cooler the leaf, the more I love it. So my Jungle Boogie. Also the name's pretty fun. My 7th favorite plant is my Hoya Carnosa compacta. So these are also known as a Hindu rope. I actually just watered this guy in the sink, so he's dripping a little bit. But this is just one of the funniest plants I've ever met. It looks like it's sick or something. It looks like it shouldn't look like this, but it is supposed to look like this. It looks like a caterpillar or I don't know. It's just so fun. And so I watered it when I can tell when this plant needs watering because the leaves start to get a little wrinkled and they're not as firm as they usually are. They start to get a little weaker and have some little wrinklage on it. And so then I just thoroughly watered that. And I keep this in a terracotta pot because they like getting really dry between waterings. It's kind of succulent-y in that way. You don't want it to retain too much water. And that terracotta, as you can see, it sucked up a lot of water. That's why it looks kind of gross, all those minerals on the outside from my tap water. But that helps it not retain too much water and not sit in that water, get all swampy, get root rot. We do not want that. Yeah, so this is my Hoya Carnosa compacta, or Hindu rope. They're so funny. I love it. Okay, so my 6th favorite houseplant is actually a tie between golden pothos and the Philodendron cordatum, which is the heartleaf philodendron. So I have 2 examples here. So this one is golden pothos, and then this is the Philodendron cordatum. It's a heartleaf philodendron. And the reason why I love these plants so much is because they're just so easy to keep. Like, for example, I love this plant because there's so much plant and so little pot space. I find so many little containers, pots, mugs when I go thrifting, and they don't have drainage holes, and I don't have a piece like a diamond bit to drill a drainage hole, and so I always plant either this heartleaf philodendron or golden pothos in it, and I water them just a little bit every once in a while and make sure that they dry out in between watering, and they live fine in it. So some other examples are my cute little shell that I have a golden pothos in, and this frog mug that I have a golden pothos in. And I have so many containers of this also because it's so fun to watch propagate too. So this is a variety of Philodendron cordatum. It's Philodendron Brasil. And I stuck it in here like probably a year ago. It doesn't look the best, but it looks pretty good. And I just haven't taken it out because I think it's fun to look at the roots, and I think it's cute with the little, I put it in a little Mayploy sweet chili sauce jar, and it just sits on my kitchen counter. Now my 5th favorite house plant is my beautiful Paella Peppers, otherwise known as the Chinese money plant. Like, look how happy it looks. Also, again, I just love strange looking plants, and this looks like a ton of alien eyes looking at me. Honestly, I love it so much. And it's also a fun plant to keep because they push out these little babies. I don't know if you can really see that little baby. They push out these little babies from their main stalk and are really fun to propagate. I'm not the best at propagating them, but I think I'm going to let them grow out on this plant because I like the look of a really full Paella Peppers where there's like 4 different plants going on in there. I think it's really pretty. Okay, my number 4 houseplant we have to go on a field trip for. My 4th favorite houseplant is my Rafidiphora Tetrasperma. I gushed over it a lot in the house tour video just because it's so beautiful and big and luscious and adventurous, and I'm just in love with this plant. It kind of speaks for itself. Also, it's really not hard to keep. You just have to let it dry out between watering. Oh, and ignore this little guy. After I filmed my tour, the other leaf fell off of it, so now I'm just soaking it in a nutrient water and just seeing if anything happens. If not, oh well. But anyway, back to this guy. And when my boyfriend gave it to me, he also carved me earrings. Oh, the other one's down here. He also carved me earrings that are shaped like the leaf of my Rafidiphora Tetrasperma. I was wearing them in my tour video. I love them so much. Okay, so my 3rd favorite houseplant is my Peperomia Obtusifolia Varigata. So, as I've said before, I'm very much a foliage girl, and so these big, really thick, juicy green leaves are like my favorite thing in the world. Sometimes I like put my cheek to them, and it feels like when you were little and sick and you'd lay down on the cold bathroom floor. It's kind of comforting like that. Anyway, this plant can be kept in really dark areas. I kept this poor guy in my bathroom that didn't have much to any light at all in it, and it definitely didn't thrive. It didn't push out a lot of new growth, but it stayed alive and healthy, and now that I have it in a lighter area, it's put out these like flower tendrils. I'm not sure what they are, but they look like, I can't do the hand thing. I don't know, I keep trying. Anyway, it means it's happy. And new leaves with a lot of variegation, which means that it's getting a lot of sun. Okay, and my number 1 favorite, let's get my number 2. My 2nd favorite houseplant that I have is my Diphylla Compacta. And the reason I love this plant so much is because it's just such an interesting shape. Ignore this. I never peel off the labels, right? It's like slowly climbing out of the pot. I think once it hangs over more, I'm going to put a new pot next to it with some soil so that its aerial roots can reach out and maybe grow into that pot. I don't know. And then look at how amazing the leaves are. It has a new leaf coming in right now. Anyway, it's kind of a funny little guy, but I'm such a big fan of its strange shape, and I don't know, I'm a big fan. One thing to watch out for, though, just with all types of Diphylla is that they do contain oxalic acid, so if you have any pets that like to nibble at your plants or kids that are interested in your plant, you might want to keep it a little out of reach just because it is a toxin. But yeah, Miss Gravy isn't really interested in nibbling at my plants, so keep it kind of low, but if I noticed her sniffing around at it more, I'd probably move it out of the way. Just in case, rather safe than sorry. And my number 1 favorite houseplant of all time, well, not of all time, my thoughts on things change a lot, but my favorite houseplant right now is my Hoya Carnosa Crimson Princess. Literally, look how full and magnificent and wonderful this is. I got this plant a pretty long time ago at, I think, like Walmart, a big box store. before I was really into Hoyas, which now I'm really interested in Hoyas, but I just treated it kind of like a succulent because it has these big luscious leaves that are able to store a lot of water, and I didn't water it until it was completely dry. And then I watered it really thoroughly, and then again waited till it was totally dry all the way through. And it's just amazing. It gets this new pink growth, hence the name Pink Princess. And the new leaves that come in are often pink tinted on the white variegation, and then that fades over time, I've realized. It looks more peach than anything, but it looks pretty pink to me. And so the Pink Princess actually has a mother in the Hoya family, which is the Pink Queen. Oh, Crimson Queen. What am I saying? Crimson Princess and not Pink Princess. That's a Philodendron variety. I don't have that. Crimson Princess and Crimson Queen. And the Crimson Princess has its white variegation on the inside of the leaves, and then has its dark green variation, well, it's dark green color on the outside of the leaves, compared to the Crimson Queen that has white on the borders of the leaves and green in the middle, and then it has some half moon leaves as well. Anyway, you can think about it that the Crimson Queen has like a crown, and so that's why there's white on the outside and green on the inside versus the princess that has the white in the middle. But anyway, I look forward to doing more videos. I've had so much fun filming over the past few days, and hopefully I'll have 1 to 2 videos out a week. Yeah, thank you so much, and subscribe if you want. Yeah, see you soon. Bye! Thumbnail time. Do 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 do. Okay. It's probably a better way to do that. What happens if I go over my disk space? Will it